There's two things that I know for sure. One, Google can't answer a question directly about the HCU, which is what this video is really about. I'm going to show you a major example, if not the best example that I have seen so far of exactly that so far. The second thing that I know is if you're willing to put your face on a sex toy review video, you can make some money doing that. People be horny over on Amazon. I've been shooting shoppable videos all night. I took a break to do this video. Apparently, this is the face that induces horny. I saw a lot of sex toys over there, but you have to be willing to put your face on. I've put my face on some videos. Questionable. Hey, let's talk about blogging and SEO. If you don't know, my name's Rob. I'm just some idiot that enjoys SEO and blogging. I may or may not actually know what I'm talking about, but I enjoy talking about it. So if you enjoy the conversation, and you don't have to have a guy who pretends to know it all to listen to, I am a guy who does not know hardly anything. I know very little. I just enjoy talking about the little bit that I know and conversing with you to hopefully learn more. So if that sounds good to you, hit subscribe, hit like. Let's get into what I saw over on X today. So let me actually go over here. There was this thread that started about a week ago. I'm going to try to walk you through this and not get too riled up, which is not easy. Let's just go through. This guy says, and I'll link to this in the description below. Hey, John Mueller. Google has previously said that Google doesn't hold a grudge, which is funny they even have to answer that question anyways. It's ridiculous, but they had said that. And sites will recover. Now, Thomas is very direct with this question. Sites will recover once issues have been resolved. Is that still the case after the HCU? John says that's still the case. That said, something... Now here, listen. What I want you to concentrate on here is the ambiguity that is all over everything that John says here. Where he's just like walking this fine line of being like very, very indirect with what he's saying. That said, some things, the word some, things take much longer to be reassessed. And some bigger effects require another update cycle. Gives a link, has some more. Okay, if some things take much longer, what are those things, John? Or anybody? Can somebody give me an answer? And some bigger effects require another update. Please tell us. What are those things? Or what are those not things? We can figure it out. Process of elimination. Can somebody tell us? Thomas says, thanks, John. Thanks for the reply. Is a core update what's needed for HCU affected updates to recover, or affected sites to recover, assuming they fix their issues? Again, a very direct question. Is a core update? Tell us what's needed, right? Well, it depends, John says, on the situation. He gives a couple of links. Has some more on that. I realize there's a big space between these situations, but generalizing doesn't help. Sometimes, ambiguity, it takes a lot of work on the site, a long time, and an update. Okay, sometimes it does. What are the other options? What are the other times? Sometimes it does. What about... Answer something here, please. This guy says, I don't understand this answer. The simple question is whether you need to wait for a new core update to recover from HCU. General Zod's coming back around is going, just yes or no, please, sir. The question was very direct. The answer was not. A simple yes or no. You can recover any time would suffice. Can you please clarify? John says, it's because not all changes require another update cycle. Okay, fine. Which do? It's been 7 months. Give us one, please. In practice, I'd assume, guessing, that stronger effects will require another update. Core updates can include many things. You see the pattern here? They can include many things? Name one. Give me something, John, please. They can include, okay, well, can it, but maybe not. John says, for example, a ranking formula plus some thresholds could be updated. But that also means maybe not. The effects from the updated formula are mostly ongoing. How much? How much? The changes to thresholds often require another update to adjust. How often? Can you give us something? A number? A percentage? keep going. General Zod comes back in. So is the threshold the reason no sites by the HCU is recovered? Again, very direct questions here. Is there simply hasn't been enough time to reevaluate improvements sites have made? Was the site-wide classifier just removed? In the latest core update, can we see recoveries now or wait for the next core update? Specific direct questions. Christian says, I have yet to see a site that has made drastic changes to justify a full recovery. Okay. Oh, he's an internet officer. Okay. In other words, General Zod comes back in and says, I'm not sure why is it possible to recover a website if it was hit in the HCU 2023? Or is such a site forever going to have a classifier assigned to it that will keep it recovered? Can you please comment on that? Here comes John. Permanent changes are not very useful in a dynamic world, so yes. In other words, he's saying, why would we punish you forever without the chance of coming back? Okay, pretty decent answer there. However, oh god dang it. Come on, please. No, just leave it. Just leave it, John. However, recover implies going back to just as before. And in my opinion, in other words, I'm guessing here, what I think, I don't know, I'm just saying, that is always unrealistic. Since the world, user expectations, and the rest of the web continues to change, it's never just as before. General Zod comes back, and Zod's right on this. I'm not sure I understand. Can a site, going back to direct, can a site hit by HCU grow in terms of traffic if it improves its quality? Many fear that no matter what they do, basically, that the HCU is going to be a forever hit that keeps it from ever growing again. Yes, sites can grow. Can. Maybe not, but they can grow again after being affected by the HCU. Well, core update now. This isn't permanent. Now, that's probably the most direct thing that he has said in here. This isn't permanent, right? It can take a lot of work, or maybe not, because we've seen some doing well that seem to do nothing, but it can take a lot of work, time, and perhaps, or perhaps not, update cycles, but a different updated site will be different in Search 2. Mike came in hot. Remove the site-wide classifier now in caps. I like that. I like being direct. So we just kind of go down through here, and people have more questions. So you're saying instead of the next update, if they fix things, it's going to be 2 updates to recover. That would be a first. Noting that makes sense. Thanks. It do? Prometheus, come on. Come on. I know there must be tons of people out there asking the same. But I could share my site, and could you just let me know why on God's earth a stable? So it's fun. It's interesting. It's not funny that Prometheus, the site, got bashed, but he's saying that makes sense, despite the fact that everything that's being said here doesn't line up with his experience or their experience. I can confirm, if you're on the right track, you can see a small uptick. Okay. So, look, this is what I want to get back to. There's one more thing I want to show you. My response. I forgot. All right, here's what I said. Ambiguity in these responses make it impossible for anybody to hold you accountable for your answers. Might, assume, could, depends, sometimes, can, or IMO. Does anybody actually have any answers, or is this the best we can get? I get John is trying to help, but for the love of frickin' Pete. And I do think John's trying to help. I think that the IMO was a big tell of I think he's just saying what he thinks is true. I don't think he's being disingenuous. I don't think he's being dishonest. I think he's saying what he thinks is true. But here's the problem. If you are going to tell people that you know what the algorithm can do, that it would seem that you would have some insight into the algorithm and its intentions and how it works, which you would think also means you would know why it's been doing what it's been doing, what it's looking for, what it can and can't do. This just seems like a bunch of ambiguity as somebody that may not actually know the algorithm. But this has also been the problem, is that they are speaking to things sometimes very specifically, which have not necessarily panned out, which may be why they're being so vague now and so ambiguous, because a lot of the stuff they said hasn't worked out. And I do think that he's trying to help, but nobody else can give us an answer. Like this is why it's been so frustrating. The other thing that I thought was really kind of interesting too is there's still a lot of talk about fixing. Well, if you fix a thing, if you fix this or that, if you do enough and you... What is fixing? What is fixing? Like, if we're going to pretend we know what the algorithm is capable of, can we pretend we know why it's been doing what it's doing? We can't get one thing on a list. You can't tell me one thing that the algorithm looked for that caused it to smash a bunch of us? Was it my grammar? Was it my good looks? It was jealous of my good looks and my youthful skin. What is it? I can't get one. We can't get one answer. The idea of continuing to talk about websites that can do enough fixing to fall back in Google's good graces, but they can't specify one thing to fix, a specific thing. And I'm not talking about, well, be more helpful. I got something that you be more helpful for. I got something for you. Come on. That's not appropriate. I shouldn't have said that. But it felt fun. It felt good. It was from the hate of my heart. And I don't want to hate. I don't want to hate. That's why I'm trying my best to give John the benefit of the doubt. And Danny. I'm not picking up any dishonesty from either of them. I think they're doing the best they can. But, man, can we just get some answers? Not the coulda, woulda, shoulda. Let's get some yes or some no. Let's get some will or some won't. Let's get here's one thing we haven't told you yet. Here's why we squashed you. Can't seem to get that. Oh, which makes me wonder what these people actually know. The new update's actually rolling out right now. This is the one that they talked about whenever the core update started in March. They said, starting on May 5th, we're going to go into this next phase of this update. And this is actually an interesting one. I think we're going to see some shit happen this week. Because a bunch of these big websites started doing stuff to their sites to start preparing for this. Like doing stuff to their subdomains, making a bunch of adjustments on their websites. They were scared of this. They weren't too worried about the core, but they were scared of this one. In fact, today we started to see some of that stuff. I saw today, I think it was the New York Times got smacked around pretty good with some stuff. A bunch of big websites did. And I think that because Google was so adamant at the beginning of this core update about like, well, we're going to see a bunch of volatility over the next month. And we really didn't. You know what I mean? It was like pretty boring. But they didn't say that for what was going to happen after March 5th. I think that was a little bit of a look over here while we do something over here. I think the fact that they promised a bunch of volatility and we didn't get it, but for this part, they didn't really say much. I think this is where the volatility is actually going to end up happening. So again, though, like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just saying stuff because I like talking about. I like making wild, baseless predictions. Don't listen to anything I'm saying. Don't follow any of my advice. Just chat with me a little bit about it. I've said this on a lot of my videos. I really appreciate you guys that have subscribed to this, and don't mind me knowing that I don't know much of anything. Don't mind me not being a know-it-all or a smarty pants. I'm just here for the conversation because I enjoy it. So again, if you haven't already hit subscribe, I think you have found a home if that's the case. And again, I want to be very clear. Look, I've tried to make it a point in my life to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe sometimes where they don't deserve any. And I can't tell if John or Danny or Google in general deserves it. I don't know. It's not my thing if whether they do. But I continue to try to be I try to be open-hearted about stuff. So I'm going to continue to say the same thing, that I'm never going to be intentionally ugly to John or intentionally ugly to Danny or say mean things about him, because I just try not to do that about anybody in my life. Sometimes even if they deserve it, not that these guys deserve it, but I think these guys are just trying to do the best that they can. And I just don't want to live in a world where I feel like too many people are dishonest or being turds for the sake of being turds. So I'm going to continue to try to be nice, because maybe I think they deserve it. I think they got it hard right now. That's all that I've got for you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Man, this lighting is freaking dope. Why do I look so good right now? Why am I looking? Let me move my camera here. Oh, no, I moved it. I changed my mind. Let me move it back over here. I don't. Thanks you all so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Peace out.